Alright everybody, welcome to episode 24 of the Roundup. Look at that in his lovely Castori jumper. That's not a sponsor, that's just a type he likes to wear. Mate.
Coming for you, you got a green t-shirt one because the winners at points.
It's Nike. Well, this is, we were just talking about before we come on there, this is a weekend of absolute banging goals. Some of the goals this weekend were tremendous.
Humpers, mate. I've seen a few on the highlights today. I've been away for the weekend with the family, so I try to catch up a wee bit there for a wee hour of that. So some belters, mate, and I'm sure we'll touch on them.
Definitely. Let's get in it. We'll start for Tuesday and Wednesday's games in the Premier League. Clydebank 2, Blantyre 1, Talbot 0, Kilburnley 0, Cumnock 5, Hurlford 2, Medda 1, Benz 0, Kilwinning 1, Rob Roy 1. And on to yesterday or Saturday's games. Talbot 2, Medda 1, Beath 1, Kilwinning 0, Benz 0, Hurlford 3, Bonnet 4, Glenafton 3, Clydebank 2, Rossdale 1, Cumnock 6, Glencairn 2, Darvel 2, Pollok 1, Kilburnley 2, Cumbernauld 0, Largs 1, Troon 2. Few big games, none bigger, I suppose, than Darvel and Pollok. But before we start that, mate, I think a wee special mention goes to Bonnet. 4-3 win against Glenafton. No an easy team to beat, particularly for a team who that was only their third win of the season. So well done to Bonnet, great result.
Yeah, proud of you for a change, mate. Acknowledging the other teams, mate, like that, mate. For you, totally agree, mate. Totally agree. Bonington, superb, mate, superb. They've kept plodding away. They've been quite tight their games of late. So well done to them because Glenafton are in a fight to stay in the league. So for Bonington, that sounds like a right ding-dong of a game, and Bonington have come out and tap. So it does show the players are. Tommy alluded to it a week or two ago, saying maybe playing with a wee bit of freedom in that, and it's a great result for him.
Definitely. Not been able to see any highlights yet, I didn't, but scoring 4 against Glenafton, it's a cracking result, Nick. I'm pleased for them because it's been along with Blantyre, it's been a really, really tough season for the two, and they've been quite a bit away from everybody else, so it's a cracking result. Moving on to the big one of the day, Darvel 2, Pollok 1, 3 penalties and 3 red cards. Darvel getting 2 centre-half later on, Pollok getting 1 centre-half. That was I only saw Pollok, they'd only put up the goals in the penalty instance. Listening to Mick, he said that Darvel were a better team first half, then Pollok kind of took a bit of control, and then Darvel took control back 10 minutes to go. It was interesting 97th minute goal. I'm completely gone blank on who scored it. Ferguson scored the...
He scored a good winner.
After Jordan Longmuir saved his second penalty of the day, but he got the rebound, put it in.
He's a machine at saving the penalties, Jordan.
Very good.
See why that was probably gone. Murdy would have took a point. I'd imagine he would have been happy with a point, but it's a big, massive goal for Darvel because everybody knows that they've not had much luck with getting games on of late due to the weather and stuff. And I think they've took a wee bit of criticism. I've seen it on social media, and I think it's a wee bit unjust because the weather has been horrendous for about a month now. But
you mean the pitch? You talking about Darvel?
Aye.
What I'd say, I'm not going to slag anybody for having games off at this time of year, particularly the weather for the last month has been horrendous. What gets me with the Darvel one is, though, the pitch looked quite poor yesterday, even though it was flat. They'd obviously done well to know it. It's the fact that they got it relayed. Now, I don't know, does it take a season for it to, a year or whatever, to properly bed in? Because it's not great that the fact they're getting so many games off at home.
I think I seen that Mick was saying something like there's been problems with it when it's been done, and they're going to even look to redo it again next season. I don't know if it's problems with the drainage or that, but the big thing is that everybody needs to remember the players and the management in their club do not want these games off. I don't think they want to be sitting in a position where they're going to be playing Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. So I think that although they want to get, of course they at their club want their games on, so it's not them trying to pull fly ones. They want these players want to play games of football, and they want to start catching up because they're a long way away when it comes to games. Obviously, they've got the games in hand, but it's going to be tough for them to put the runs together. Do you know what I mean? Because it's going to be very demanding for their players. But they've started off with a great result on Saturday, mate. It's a top result. Talbot winning as well. I'm hoping Pollok hang in there to the end, because I think they've had a brilliant season, and I know what Murday and that's like as well. They'll keep plodding on. I don't think you can really discount them now with the amount of games to go as well. So it's a massive 3 points for Darvel.
I think we said before the season started that we fancied the Talbot to win the league, and we never went away from that. I think Pollok losing to Talbot and then losing to Darvel back to back in the league, this really gave them a massive gave them a massive uphill struggle, whereas they were, a couple of weeks ago, they were something like 7 points clear at the top of the league, even though Talbot had games in hand. Now it's 1 point, the Talbot with 3 games in hand. I can't see the Talbot taking over. But looking at that, if Darvel win their games in hand, I think they go a point behind the Talbot if the Talbot win their games in hand as well. So I think it's going to be an issue, like you said, about the 3 games a week, which could kill Darvel. I wrote them off months ago, and they've definitely shown how they've got a bit more about them than I thought they did, because the run they've been on is incredible. I actually saw, if you give a wee second, I took a picture of it on Troon's Instagram. Did you see it?
No, mate.
With the last 6 games, it gave you the league table for the last 6 games. And Darvel, obviously, they've won all 6 on the bounce. Pollok have lost their last 2. Troon are sitting second with 15 out of the last 18 points. But the one that gets me, and we're going to come on to it the now, Kilbirnie haven't lost in any of the last 6 games. They've had 4 draws, which we spoke about previously, that kills them.
Yeah.
That was a good win for them. I know Cumbernauld are in a bad run of form now, but that was another big win for them. And it's a great job that Tommy and Sean and Owen have done, where it's 6 games they've no lost. I mean, that's impressive after a poor start to the season.
I think I've said it. I think that they've been in a very difficult situation, and they've been trying to claw back points. And in any normal circumstances, some of the draws are brilliant results, but it was just the way that where they found themselves, that draws maybe aren't good enough for their points tally. But if you look at the last 4 games, they've kept 4 clean sheets. They've played against good teams: Hurlford, Beeve, Talbot, and even Cumbernauld. So Cumbernauld are scrapping for their life as well, and they've won the game, kept an clean sheet. So they have done really, really well down there. And as we've said, they're getting a turn out the players, and they're not getting up the ghost. I tell you that, they're not getting up the ghost. But Cumbernauld, I think struggling a wee bit now. Just as the rank time of the season, I think they need a big result, and it'll just pick them up. Do you know what I mean? I think because that was one that they maybe looked at and said, we need to try and get something out of it. So it's not leaving them much margin for error either as well.
No, I mean, they've got 6 games in hand on Kilbirnie, and they're only 5 points behind. But you're at the stage now where they've only picked up 5 points in the last 6 games, and they're poor in a form. It's making it difficult for them. I think Cumbernauld will go down. I still think Kilbirnie will go down, despite the fact that they've had this cracking run. And you're talking about the 4 clean sheets, they've only conceded 2 goals in 6 games. That's the reason why they're picking up the points. It's maybe
they've shut the shop at the back, and it just shows you in it when they've started for the base in the back line, and it gets results.
It does indeed.
Did I not see something in the Lowland League, but now that the results at the weekend, it might only be 6 teams going down now.
Is that right?
I thought I seen something somewhere. I might have been drunk, mate. I don't know, because I've had a few swallows here this weekend.
But I've not seen that. But it's not something. If anybody knows of that, then give us a wee shout and let us know.
Yes, let us know.
At the moment, the bottom 6 are Bottom Blantyre, Bonnyton, Rossvale, Cumbernauld, Glenafton, and Kilbirnie. Kilbirnie are a point off Largs, but Largs have 5 games in hand, which it might be too much for them. On Largs, losing 2-1 to Troon. Troon absolutely flying now. That's 5 out of 6 they've won in the league. They're having some run of form now.
absolutely brilliant. Because Lars have shown that they've got results and they can score goals in that as well. And every point or 3 points would be so valuable to Lars. But Troon are just at a great level of form now. But the only game they've lost is to Talbot, and that was last week. So they're putting real consistent performances together. Confidence is high. The boys are all buying into it. And tell you what, it's a good way to finish the season. See, when you finish the season in a high, it's always nice getting into the next season and coming back in for pre-season and stuff with a good league finish, and then try to see even adding players in that when you finish that wee bit higher on that as well. It's always good. So Troon will keep working away at it and keep trying to see. And as I said weeks ago, they're looking up the way. They're not in any danger.
I think you know what it's like you're saying, no? It's good for Dean and his backroom staff. It's easy to keep players. See when you go, well, look, lads, we've won 5 out of the last 6, or we've won 8 out of the last kind of 12 games that we've played in the league. Like, we're a good side. We keep it together. You know what I mean? It's easy to convince boys to stay for next season.
I think that they always know that they've had good players and they've got a good side there. So I don't think that in house they've always probably believed in themselves anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Big result for me. Last minute goal by Josh Fowler. Beath beating Colwynnon 1-0. Colwynnon have been a bit of a funny team for me this season. They had that good strong start, then they had a poor middle patch, and then a few weeks back, maybe the last kind of couple of months, they started to really motor again, and now they've not won any in the last 3 in the league. It's a sore one to lose 1-0, such a late goal, but they've had a wee dip in form again. They're a bit hit and miss for a side who you do expect to be up there challenging.
I think a good side, and I still really believe that they're going to finish in the top 5, and I think when it comes to maybe resources and stuff like that, I don't know, I might be speaking out of turn, but I think the teams above them have maybe just got that wee bit more. But in fact, I've seen they've had to look, they've lost quite a few players in and out the season. Just obviously lost with Carlo Monte coming up that as well, and throughout the season they've lost a few players. I think Davy Anderson went to Kilburney, and then they've lost ones to the Lowland League in that as well. So I think it's been tough because he's had to deal with losing players throughout the season, and probably he's better players at that. And he's had lots of injuries as well, because we've seen his interviews, he's had lots of issues with boys getting injuries and long-term injuries. So I think that they've not quite hit the rub of the green, but at the same time, they'll want to finish in that top 5, and I think they will do it. It's just one of the things, isn't it? But it's a great result for Beav. I think that Butch has got to the boys playing really well. I think same with him as well, quite solid of late. They've not conceded many goals, but I think they've kept 3 clean sheets in a row, maybe because he kept one against Rosville. I don't know results previous to that, but
that's right. They lost the week before the Rosville game. I'm going blank on who they lost to. I think it was Talbot, wasn't it? Was it? Well, you're saying that, see if Beath can win their 4 games in, we're talking about Colwynnon there, if Beath can win their 4 games in hand against Colwynnon, they go joint on points with Colwynnon. Mm-hmm. So they're right up there, but again, it's easier said than done. I think Hurlford win their games in hand as well on Colwynnon, they go into the same points. But I think Colwynnon have got enough to probably.
I think for me, Beavan, I think Beavan Butch is doing a brilliant job. It's a big club, but it's his first manager's job. He knows the level absolutely inside out. And you can see that, the way he's setting his team up. It's a good mix of youth and experience, as I've said. And they're on a good bit of form now. So they're doing very well. You know what I mean?
But mentioned Carlo Monte there, moving on to his side, Cumnock. 2 great results, 11 goals in the last 2 games.
Safe now, mate.
100%, mate. 100%. That's them sitting 40 points. They are, if 7 go down, they're currently 8 points ahead, Largs, your 7th bottom. I think they're safe. And that's 2 great results for them. We spoke about it before we came on. Andy McLaughlin has 2 goals this weekend. Wow.
The first one with the old left swinger, mate, it's a beauty, isn't it?
It's on the volley. Keeper's got no chance. Straight out of the tap in the top corner. I thought his free kick was so well struck as well. Just hurled it right round the wall at the top corner. It was a great effort.
Because it looked as if he's judge the wind well in it, because it looked as if he started it right far outside the post, and it's just the whip he's got on it's went right in the top corner. Two brilliant goals, and they're firing all cylinders the last couple of games, and credit to Gints, but I always thought that it was a matter of time. They had a wee shaky spell, but like I always said, he's starting to get the players in that he wants. He's starting to know the players that he can maybe trust and rely on that are at the club and stuff, and he's getting a tune out of them. He's obviously finding a formation in the personnel that's worked the last couple of games, and they might kick on now, mate. They might kick on because they've had a couple of good results. So well done to them. But aye, McLaughlin's goals absolutely.
If they mention Hurlford having two right sore ones in a row, I think it's 10 goals those in 2 games. Good strong win 3-0 away at the Bens. I watched the goals to it earlier.
Seen the goals in army.
The Bens looked a wee bit suspect coming down their left hand side. 2 crosses into the box. I can't remember the first one. The 2 crosses into the box and they've not dealt with them properly.
Good result. Good result for them. Good result for them to go and score 3 goals and keep a clean sheet. It's what they needed after the last couple of weeks. So get them back on track. The Bens just need to be wary, don't they, man? They don't want to start maybe slippery slope. They can't. They have to just pick a wee result or two, 1 or 2 results up. Do you know what I mean? To try and head to the finishing line.
I think you're right. I think with the Bens, another 6 or 7 points is probably going to be enough to keep them up. But that's 2 weeks without a goal, so that's something we'll be hoping to rectify if they're having a good wee run before that. Finally, in the Premier League, Clydebank won their 4th game in a bounce, beating Rossvale 2-1. Archie Boy McPherson to the rescue 2 weeks in a row, or two games in a row with late winners. See Lee Gallagher's free kick?
No, I've not seen it. I seen wee Brad Rodden's,
but Brad's is cheeky.
Cheeky, but he's a cheeky boy, mate. He's a cheeky boy.
Look, I watched the highlights, obviously, and the Clydebank commentators are like, I thought that hit the side netting. And you're like, how's he scored to that angle? The keeper's been caught unaware, and I'm not going to blame him because I don't think you expect it. It was a great free kick for Brad. And then Archie takes his goal really well. Pollok played on the tap. Defenders kind of pressed him. He just nicks it out of his head, puts it in a goal. It was well done, but that's Clydebank starting to find a wee bit of form. But it looks like for me, Rossvale, too late, they're going to get relegated. But the last couple of performances have been better. And obviously Jamie's starting to find his way, and the boys are maybe starting to respond to it now. They've just been unfortunate.
100% agree, mate. Don't think there's much to add. I think Clydebank put a couple of wins together and a cup win as well on the bounce, and it's kind of got him back on track. I wouldn't probably say that they're firing in all cylinders like they were at the start of the season, but the most important is they're winning, and seeing you've got players like Archie and that experience, being near the piece, knows what it's all about, man. Popping up with vital goals, he's done that his full career, mate, popping up with goals at vital times. So they've done well, mate.
Have indeed. We'll move on to Conference A, only the 2 games. Irvine Vics 0, Arthurlie 2, Mabel 1, Whitlets 1. Arthurlie 20th win out of 21 games, 4 points clear with a game in hand. They're getting really close to finishing the job. Gary Smith penalty and Jordan Layden with an absolute screamer. The boys broke him maybe about 25-30 yards out, left foot, absolutely no backlift, bang, top corner. It gives Andy McLaughlin's a run for its money.
Well, it just shows you what getting a PG and Dak man of the match does. Obviously, his confidence is high. You know what I mean? Jordan, boys, his confidence is high in that. You know what I mean? If you want to get him in the show, you know, every time we go, he's not going to get a look in, mate, anyway. I seen Gary's penalty. I know it's just dispatched way onto the roof of the net, but what else can you say about them, mate? It was probably not a pretty one again, with the conditions, windy and stuff like that. But they've been doing, kept an clean sheet, won the game, shots haven't been playing, they've extended their lead at the tap, gives them that wee bit more of a cushion. Job done, another 1-1, superb Arthurlie.
I thought, just to mention on Irvine Vics, Arthurlie for me in the highlights had the better chances, and Irvine Vics highlights are always pretty extensive, and the guys do a great job. I think they're arguably the best highlights behind Clydebank's. But I think that Irvine Vics, that was only their second defeat in the last 5. They look like they're improving a wee bit, and it's good to see that, because I know the conditions are an impact on it. But Arthurlie's a top side, and the fact that they were able to go and keep it close is a wee credit to them.
See when teams are struggling and a new management team comes in, results don't change overnight, because you need to work hard behind the scenes to get new players in, the personnel you want. You need to try and persuade players to come and sell them your vision, because boys can go into social media and see that the team's not doing that well. So it's a hard sell sometimes. Being there before the Ashfield, sometimes it's hard to sell it to players, but what you need to do is the things don't happen overnight. So Dougie's just plodding away at it, and next season Elvin Vicks will be a much tastier outfit next season.
Actually, I've said it before, I don't know why. Elvin Vicks and Saltcoats are 2 teams that I want to go and watch. I just like them. I honestly don't even know why I like them, but I've got a wee soft spot for them.
Mate, I like that, mate. I like that.
I've got a wee soft spot for them. Moving on to the other game, Poppy's first game in charge at Whitlets, 1-0 draw away to Maple. I was 2 teams who are kind of much getting a draw. Probably, I can imagine the conditions being tough down there, because I've played there in July and the conditions are tough. But that's kind of 2 decent sides, 1 each. Not much you can say about it, I don't think.
No, and as I said, that probably there, the Poppy and that, there'll not be much that they'll want to change in those Whitlets or Daneville, but the best thing that they'll do is they'll want to keep their best players and then add to it with the players and the contacts that they've got in the game. So, it's a steady start, mate. You go in, you take a point, you move on. They've probably just had a couple of training sessions with the boys and then the game. So another week at training, starting to put their ideas in place. You need a few weeks to start putting things in place when you get the job in it.
Definitely. But it's a season. I think they're going to be.
They'll finish 3rd, didn't they? They're going to finish 3rd.
I think they'll be in that championship or 1st division, whatever it'll be.
Which will be a very good league.
Well, it's pretty much nothing until the end of the season for them. Moving on to Conference B, Glasgow United 2, James 1, Kello 1, Cambuslang 5, Port Glasgow 2, St Cadoc's 2, Royal Albert 1, Dorey 1. Cambuslang 5 points clear, 2 games in hand, league's finished, 5-1-1. I saw Scotty Williamson scored a couple of goals after scoring for Queen's Park during the week there.
Brilliant, mate. Seen his goal, mate?
I've not seen it.
Seen it, mate. Playing at Pollok, so they were. Boyle the tap, he does well, mate. He's rapid, isn't he, Scotty? And he does well. He gets in behind the centre halves, and goalie comes out and he just lobs it out of the tap of the goalie, mate. It's a nice finish. He looked sharp as anything, and they'll get the benefit, Camby, for now to the end of the season, because he's probably in training full time with him now. I think they're
that's it.
But Camby
45 goals he's got this season.
I know. I can't talk about the boy, because he's gone to senior football, mate. So let's talk about the other people, mate.
No, I just want. He could get to 50 goals this season, right? I don't ever remember.
He's gone, mate.
I don't remember a player getting 50 goals in one season at juniors. I can never remember. It's incredible.
I certainly conceded 50 goals in this season, mate. That's for sure. No, but for them, mate, they're doing superbly well and deserve a tremendous amount of credit. The levels of consistency they're showing on the park's been unbelievable, and they'll be worthy winners of the league, because Disney lie, they've been the best team, man. Look at all their stats. They're probably the best defensively. They've probably scored the most goals. They've won the most amount of games. They've only lost 2 games, you know what I mean? So they deserve it, mate.
You're saying their stats, right? They've scored 91 goals in 22 games and conceded 14. They have scored less than half the goals that St Cadoc's have conceded, and St Cadoc's have the 2nd best defensive record in the league.
But I mean, mate, so it's not a fluke, you know what I mean? And
they've got five players with double figures as well.
It seems Paul, Billy and Keegs and that have probably worked the boys hard, and the boys deserve it, mate. At the end of the day, they're turning up week in, week out and winning the games. And I know myself how tough some of the teams and games in this conference can be, and they're knocking the wins out relentlessly, and they fully deserve it. They've won the league, mate, in my opinion. It's no mathematically in-house, they're not going to say that, but for me, it's just a matter of time when it's wrapped up.
I agree with you, mate. They've got 6 games left. They win their 2 games in hand. That takes them 11 clear. It's nearly there, mate. I mean, they only need 3 wins, if my math's right. They only need 3 wins to win the league. Moving on though, Glasgow United against New Mains. New Mains look like they have had a rocket up their arse, because losing 3-1 to Renfrew, pushing them close, and then playing Glasgow United, who you know yourself, when they own it, they can be a good side. 2-1 away from home, it's a decent result. And I know a wee mention for one of your daft goalie pals. That was a great penalty save, wasn't it?
That was unbelievable, mate. See if somebody's doing that in the senior game. They're all over the place, mate. They're talking about it on the telly. They're showing clips of it all the time. So, because he's a West of Scotland all junior goalie, maybe he doesn't get that same exposure, but you should get it here. Cammy, mate, he's from up north, mate. He's a mad farmer, mate. He's a sparky, mate, but we used to call him a farmer, mate. He used to shout keepers. Nice boy, mate. Very nice boy, and very good goalkeeper and all. But tremendous save. I think Davey and that have getting a tune out. The boys are obviously a lot more competitive. He'll not be happy that they've still lost these first 2 games, but what it has shown is he's maybe went in and got them that wee bit more organised, and he's maybe added a player here or there. But as I said last week, it's very important for him, because he'll want to finish the season as positive as possible so he can keep his better players, and then it'll be better for him to add players. But I believe he'll do a good job there, because I know Davey as well, and I think he's a good guy. He's very switched on, mate. So, but it was a good result for Glasgow United. Because
climbing up the table.
Yeah, in the wee pack, they've pushed themselves up.
The Pollok drawn with St Caddock supporter a funny side that they don't surprise you if they go and beat somebody or get points off of somebody that's good. But then on the flip side, they'll go and get leathered a week later. They're a funny side, the Pollok. Doyley's probably not going to be overly happy with that, but you know what it's like in the report. It's always going to be physical, and they're going to be in your faces. So well done to my old team, because that's a cracking result for them yesterday.
It's a great result for Pollok, and I think they've only got 1 game left now, so it just shows you in it, man. Not even hit March yet, and they're 1 game to go. But I'm still a wee bit surprised. I thought St Caddock's mate would do and win the game. I think basically because what you're saying in the Pollok, they get in your face that. But don't get me wrong, they try and get the ball down at times and play. But I thought that surface down there would have suited the St Caddock's boys to even get the ball down and play a big part on the Astro and that. But listen, take nothing away from Pollok. That's a brilliant result for them. And I think Doyley will still be finding his feet within the club and stuff. And I think that you judge him more next season. You want to finish definitely top 3. I think they will do that anyway for St Caddock's. So, no, it's peachy, but it's a good result for the Port, isn't it?
Final game in Conference B. Third bottom and bottom, Royal Albert and Dorai, 1 each. It's another one that, for me, every time these teams do a bottom play each other, like even when it's been like Saltcoats and Irvine Bicks, it's always close, which means for me that their division, that bottom division, is going to be nice and tight next year. It's good for both teams to get themselves a point. One that both of them would have liked to have won, I'd imagine, and looked to have won. But it's,
I think it was a goalie that scored, mate.
Was it?
Aye, mate, that's what I'm trying to look at now. I'm sure it said something about the goalie had scored. They scored directly for the goalie's kick or something. I can't even. Where is it, man?
If you have a wee look and we'll come back to it. I'm going to move on.
No, keep going, mate. I can't find it. I might be wrong, but I'm sure the goalie had something to do with scoring an equaliser in that game.
Brilliant, man. With the one we've spoken about plenty of times, the most exciting league is Conference C, even though the Premier League probably going to get a run for its money. Ardrossan 0, Kilsyth 1, Petershill 1, Neilston 0, Ants 0, East Kilbride 0, The Rock 4, Petershill 2, Delaleaven 3, Larkhill 0, Wishaw 1, the Drum 1. big game of the weekend. For me, it's Petershill winning against Neilston is incredible for them. That is such a big win. 25 wins in a row now, I think they're at. Something stupid like that. Neilston got a man sent off at nothing each with about 20 odd minutes to go.
It was 20 minutes in, I think, was it not?
20 minutes in. I thought it was 20 minutes to go, but it was 20 minutes in. Petershill getting a late-ish goal with Cal scoring. That is massive for them. Because I think if Neilston had won that, Neilston possibly put himself in the picture to be the favourites to win the league. But then now you're looking like, are Neilston out yet? And Petershill are going to go and win it. It's a hard one to call.
It's that tight, mate, it can flip, but what a result for Petershill. I think Paul Callander, mate, I think he's doing the business for them this year, mate, this season, mate.
Cal's nearly 40 or something, man. Honestly.
This is what I mean. This is what I mean, but it's like, they'll have all the people like Boy Sweeney, the boy Docherty, getting the goals and getting the assists, but the likes of probably Yancey Day and the likes of Paul Callander and that as well, mate. They're kind of going as unsung heroes and that, because even big centre half. Big Ross McCabe, sorry. Had a wee moment there. Big Ross McCabe, he's popped up with last minute winners and had a bit of praise and that. So the guys in there and his experience will be massive in there, mate. So I think he got man of the match at the weekend, joint with Yancey Day. So we obviously put in a top performance, but brilliant result for them. What it does for their confidence in there's booming, and they'll be buzzing, and they'll just be wanting the next game as soon as possible. But I think Petershill looks as if they're going to be hard to beat now, aren't they?
Yeah, I spoke to somebody 5-6 weeks ago, and I was like, Petershill won't continue this form. They will lose points for somebody. There's no way they're going to keep going. It's hard to see where they're going to stop now, because I'm sure that same played the Drum twice. I'm sure that same played Neilston twice. You're like, who's going to stop them now? That, for me, yesterday was the one that you thought, particularly with the form Neilston were in, you're like, this is going to be the one if they're going to lose it. It's this. But it's hard to see by them now. I mean, granted, if they draw or lose their next game, then they're tied in points or behind Drumchapel. You know what I mean? So it's they're a point behind a game in hand.
That's it, I think it would be so stupid of us to really to say it's Petershill League, because I wouldn't even discount Neilston now, because their form up until Saturday has been brilliant. They've always had to play a big chunk of the game with 10 men. They've lost the game, which will be disappointing to them, but they're not going to give up. They're not going to give up in their title challenge. But Petershill will look relentless. They look so solid at the back, keeping clean sheets. But with the Drum winning, I know, do you know what I mean? The Drum win.
That's a 2-1 win against Wishaw, who before yesterday had won 4 in the bounce.
That's a good result. That's the first game done he's lost, I think. I think that's the first game he's lost, so that's a good result for the Drum to go and win that game.
Definitely, it's a massive one. Away as well, because you know what Beltane's like. The surface is a difficult place to go. It's always quite hard going there. So Opie will be absolutely delighted with that win. Keeps them a point clear. Like I said, Petershill and Neilston have got a game in hand. Petershill a point behind, Neilston 6 behind, so potentially could go 3 behind. You're right, mate. It would be stupid as to say who's going to win it, because it's so tight. But the Rock, move on to the Rock, 4-2 against Petershill. I think they were 2 up after 7 or 8 minutes. Back, the Rock got a man sent off, and then managed to see it through and win 4-2. Good result for the Rock.
Do you see Dawes cross?
No, I've not seen it.
His goal, mate. His free kick.
One of the ones.
Mate, he's playing, the dance and all that. He's getting it all that, mate. He's some boy, mate. He's some boy, honestly. But no, it's a good result for the Candy. As you say, being 2-0 up, and then I don't know if it ended up 2 each, but
I'm sure it went 2 each pretty quick.
Aye. And then 4-2, mate. Very good result. The games are always tasty with the Shire and the Rock, mate. It's always the local derby feel to it and that, so it's a very good result. I think there's no danger that the Rock are going to be that 4th team and they'll be in that they'll be in that championship next season, which will be a tremendous league, man. See the good games, the big games, tough, good away days and all that. Their fans will love it because their fans are absolutely tremendous down there.
I know, it's a club we need to go and see a game at, to be honest. I mean,
big time,
they're a celebrity down there, but it's a club we need to go down. We'll just not the chance, to be honest.
Yeah.
And drawing that each way, East Kilbride. It's a kind of nothing. No team's really gone anywhere at the two of them. I think the Ants have had a really, really great second half of the season, so well done to them. East Kilbride, a really young side too, so it's been hard for them this year. It's been a bit hit and miss, but with a team that young who have been doing pretty well, I'd say they're a shout at having a good year next year.
Yeah.
We mentioned Villa leaving, who have two of the last four have managed to pick up points. They're starting to get a wee bit of momentum. That was a good one against Lark Hall, who Lark Hall can be quite a tricky team.
Yeah, good result. Like Villa leaving any time I've been down there, they've always been brilliant hospitality and that, and we've been down there this year in the cup, so a good result for them.
Definitely. Ardrossan losing 1-0 to Coolside. Coolside have been a funny season for them. Ardrossan look to be picking up under Gav Friels. They're doing a lot better than now. Still a lot of defeat, but they're not really having the defeats.
They'll be a force next. They'll be a good side next year.
They'll probably look to win their league next year.
Stephen Gavin, that can get right in about pre-season and do their business and stuff. They'll be a right good side, I think.
Is it H that's his assistant?
I think it might be. Aye.
Very
two in the helm, not meaning the players they know and the contacts that they've got in the game as well. But I think that who was it you were talking about? Coolside. Sorry, I think they're going through a wee bit of a transition period. I think they've went younger with younger management and looking to maybe try to tap into the younger local market, maybe younger players and that. So I think it's a tough one for them. I just think that they're going to go through a wee transition period.
I wonder if they'll go and try and take some of the young players off of Coolside Athletic Division 4.
Hopefully no, mate, because you want to see Coolside Athletic, the players sticking their name try to hang it, but listen, it's the local team, and Coolside Rangers are playing at a higher level and playing a higher leagues than them, so it wouldn't surprise me if they did try and get a couple of them.
I know, because there is some good players in that team. Finally on Division 4, Harthill 2, Coolside 2, St Peters 5, Campbeltown 0. Coolside obviously lost the league last week with losing to Fanart.
The manager's moving on. He's retiring. Davey, I think.
He could be really proud of that. Fanart were a good amateur team, brought in a wee bit more experience. Brian Blair, who's been about, knows the score. To push them right to the second last game of the season, we're a 21s team, even though we're a good 21s team, a group of young boys. So really, really well done to him.
Yeah, wish him all the best in his retirement. If he's moving on, it'll be interesting. It'll be a good gig for whoever probably gets it. They've got a young team, and it's a team that they can work with and progress. But so wish him all the best.
Yep, definitely. Harthill, they've had, for me, a terrible season. They've been an established junior team. Granted, they've had a hard few years. They've not been a great side at all in the last 10, 15 years. Really poor season in a division that I thought they'd have done better in. But it's nearly finished now. St Peters 5-0 against Campbeltown. Watched the highlights. Really well.
Money doing a business, wasn't he?
VJ, I'm going to give you a mention for his wearing his bird's bauble on his wrist the whole game because he loves her so much.
Oh, honestly, I didn't see that, mate.
His girlfriend's bauble on his wrist, you know what I mean, because he's so in love. So, I'd take
a match ball off the boy for
that. I'm sure he'd take it back after the picture, to be fair.
Yes. But you've not spoke much about the wee man. Has he been quiet? I've not
been doing for so long. It's like I'm right out of the way with St Peters. I hardly know what's going on anymore. You know what I mean? I'm the most useless committee man ever. But it's a good win for St Peters. The third out of 3 games out of the last 4 they've won. The club's I'd say it's been a pretty good first season. If they win their games in hand, the last 4 games, then they're only 2 points off both sides. So I think it's been a pretty solid season.
Solid, mate. You're right. Solid, mate. Solid season, mate.
And for me, for Campbeltown, well done to Campbeltown this year as well, because they've been throwing teams together with. I think they're basically going into the crash and doing Campbeltown and taking the Waynes out and getting them to come and play at times, you know what I mean? So they've done really well for.
Aye.
But aye, not much to say. I think on Division 4, it's league's finished. For that, I've won it. That's kind of it, to be honest. Not much else to say. So that'll be us for this week. Actually, we've run on quite long because we've went through everybody. But I think we're going to do this till the end of the season now because it's getting interesting. It's getting to the stage where every game matters. So there's probably more for us to say now than there was the last 6 or 7 weeks. But and Wednesday, our first interview is out in months. I think it's nearly 3 months since we've had an interview. So it's a cracker. Tune into it. It's powerful, like Dak said earlier on Instagram. It's powerful.
Powerful episode, mate. If it doesn't hit you at certain times, then you're not a human being in my point of view.
It's powerful. It's a great listen. Guy that's really brave to talk about how he gets through so much stuff. But there's football chat in there as well. Aaron gave some of his kind of opinions on certain things and that, and it was brilliant talking to him. We could have went on for hours, to be honest. We had to nip it short.
We did, but it's one of the things. It was that much a serious chat at times. Listen, you can't put a time frame on it. Do you know what I mean? It was. So no, I look forward to that out Wednesday, and I'm knackered, mate, because I've been running about all weekend with the rain.
We will get.
I'm a wee bit more subdued this weekend.
I know, but hey, look, you had a great time with the family. Ashfield won in a friendly. Maxie played, didn't he?
Old mate.
His club still got that quality of him,
I mean, see, I want him to play, mate, at the end of the season, but he's a nightmare, mate. He's saying he's a tin man. He's been messaging me today saying that he can't move and all that. But once you know where the goal is, mate, you don't need to move.
Get that wee buzz. But that's us for another week. Thanks for listening, and we hope you tune in on Wednesday for a great episode. And have a good week, everybody. We'll see you next week.
See you later, team. Cheers.